Now, mixed reactions in Saturday night's not guilty verdict in the George Zimmerman trial. This morning, Nashville attorney Grover Collins shares legal insight, and we've been talking about this all weekend now since this verdict was handed down Saturday night. A lot of surprise, I think, because a lot of people thought the prosecution may have had this.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that the prosecution may have done, due to the pressures surrounding them, may have overcharged in this case. I think when you overcharge, sometimes you go for things in a completely different manner. Every witness that you have, every piece of evidence that you present, and the way that you present it are geared toward the higher charge instead of gearing it for the lesser charge, which would have been the manslaughter charge. I think they had the proof there for the manslaughter charge, and had they gone after that and argued that point, the entire theme of their trial, I think the outcome of this would have been very different.
As an attorney, why do you think they went for that higher charge?
Sometimes as a prosecutor, or sometimes as just feeling the pressures around you, sometimes prosecutors will go after the higher charge because that's what the public sentiment seems to be wanting. At the same time, this charge, when they investigated the case, was investigated as a manslaughter. As such, I think the prosecution should have gone after manslaughter.
A lot of people now are wondering what's next, but you tell me no appeals process in this.
Not at least for the criminal trial. The criminal trial is over with. He has been found not guilty, Mr. Zimmerman has, and as such, there will be no appeals.
Okay. Let's talk about now the motivation behind this DOJ, Department of Justice investigation.
Okay, I know that the NAACP had petitioned the DOJ to start the investigation to investigate whether or not it's a civil rights violation or a criminal civil rights violation. I think that for there to be a civil rights violation, they're going to have to prove, the DOJ being they, are going to have to prove that this action happened because it was a racially driven aggression. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that at this point it's an uphill battle for them to prove that. Right.
You were mentioning earlier you have to have solid facts to be able to prove something like that.
Sure, and I know that the DOJ has interviewed very numerous people in the community, people that Mr. Zimmerman had previously come into contact with, and there may be some proof, but they're going to have to investigate that and vet that out before they can come up with it.
What do you expect now, timeline-wise, in the next, days, weeks, months? I mean, are we going to start seeing some of this develop?
Maybe because there's so much pressure around it, but at the same time, investigations take a very long time. Investigations such as these, the DOJ is going to want to make sure they've got it right, and they're going to tread lightly before they make any types of allegations or any types of charges.
You touched on something that I really thought was very thoughtful last night. We were talking about why this is such a controversial case, why so many people are taking it so personally. Tell me what you think about that.
I think there's just so many different elements of our society that are represented in this case. You have the people who are for Second Amendment rights. You have the people that are proponents of stand your ground. You also have the racial undertones. There's so much going on in this case, and there's so many segments of society represented. That's why so many people are so interested in it.
All right. Grover Collins, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.